All right, all right, all right. This is Rio. I think you know this by now, maybe? I don't know. I'm on my Windows computer today. So it looks a little different. I'm in a little different location. I'm still home. For those of you I've connected with, right? I go into the office during my office hour. I sometimes work on campus, but I like working at home because it's quiet. It's actually quiet in my office, but that doesn't matter. The point of this video is to get you into week 6, which kind of think about it. Week 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it. 3 weeks from this recording. Well, not from this recording because I'm doing it in week 5. This class will be over. So focus. So important. For those of you taking 8085, I will be teaching that one on the back 9. I wasn't scheduled to, but I will be. Not sure how I'm going to change it. It's a pretty last minute change, very last minute. And for those of you taking 93, you already know JavaScript. I'm actually stepping in to finish out the semester with JavaScript students. So change is inevitable. How we handle it is important. All right, so here's what I want to show you. First thing, and I said, and by the way, let me just say, I have a couple of notes to make sure I go over some stuff, but I recorded this content for week 6. Week 6, Monday, you have 3 videos instead of 1 to show you everything. You have a video for each one, which kind of tells you the importance of that week. And I rewatched some of it this morning, and in some of it, I was learning as I went, and not learning, as I was doing it, I kind of did something a little different. So here's my suggestion is watch it, understand what I was doing, because yours, it may look different, which is part of the reason I decided to move to Windows today. Because my main system is actually a Mac. That's what I do, what we call a daily driver, what I drive daily, is a Mac. But I also have a PC, and I'm used to working on a PC, and it's, I try not to be wedded, so to speak, to one platform. I want to work on any platform that's in front of me. That's my goal. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you, and I talk about this in the video, but I want to talk about it now. I'm on my Mac. I'm sorry, I'm on my Windows. Just said it. And this repo, this GitHub IO, is the one we're going to be working mostly on this week. And I do show you how to go back and forth between opening the root that I have you set up. But for the template work, I definitely recommend opening up the GitHub IO folder. So I would come into here, I'd come into here and open that folder. And the reason is, and I talk about this so you can hear that content, is that, well, I'll talk about that content there, but basically there can be some issues. I saw this with the one where you added CSS to your page for some folks, but also notice how, so that's why, okay, it just is going to make life easier, especially doing this template work that we're going to do this week. Now, the other thing you can notice here is that because I'm on a different computer, maybe you don't notice, but a lot of the work that I've done prior on my Mac is not here. Now, this is not a command unless you move to different computers that you would ever need to do. Because if you ever wanted to work on a different computer, you would have to you would clone that repo. Like I cloned this repo at the beginning of the semester. Now I've worked on my Mac and now I'm back to the PC and I want to bring in all that work. Okay. So what I would do is I'd do a git pull. That would be the command I would do. Okay. To pull in all that work that I've done and bring my local system up to date. So I'm just going to tell you that's how I would do it. I'm not going to do that right now because I kind of like having this clean install and then I'll just delete it. But one of the things in this week you're going to do is you're going to download a template once you find one. And this is the one I ended up selecting. And again, make sure it's free. The idea is not for you to pay for it, but I do give you some advisories. Let me just say this to you clearly. I do give you some, like, make sure you check out the template before you use it, right? Just do that. But so one of the things almost on all of these have possibly, like some of them will be actually out on GitHub, and I'll show you how to download a zip file. This one I've chosen is a zip file, not on GitHub, but I have to go free download here. And when I do that, I get a zip file, right? Now this zip file, when I just open it, will show me the contents of the zip file. on Windows, right, you're looking inside of the zip file. So what you'll want to do, and I'm going to do this, is I'm going to go into my Finder or File Manager. Finder's on the Mac. And I'm going to go into Downloads because I know that's where it was at. And then I would right click here, right click, and then I would extract all. So what that does is it takes it from the zip format into a native Windows file format. And when I do that, cool, tells me where it's going to go. Now at this point, do not, I recommend this, do not put this in your repo folder. Do not. I'll show you how to do that in the video. So don't. I'm going to go ahead and extract it into this folder, right? That is inside of my downloads. So now I have a folder inside my downloads. And again, in the videos, I show you how to correctly, right, look at, because there's something, and this is something new this week. Okay. I'm just going to tell you something new this week that we're going to see is called a build system, to where based on some source files, and this is the way modern websites are often built, there's a build process. We're not going to learn in this class the build process. So what you're going to end up doing, depending on the template you choose, and I highly recommend if you're not sure, you come talk to me, okay? Because, you know, you just want to understand it. And again, I'll cover it, but I just want to give you the heads up. Okay. So in here, one of the things I can do is I could load just this, and I recommend this as you're checking out the template before you get it, okay? So as an example, I could do File, Open. I could navigate to my downloads, not my downloads. I could navigate to this folder. All right, just navigate here. Oh, actually, it's in downloads. Yeah, just be careful because you don't want to, while you're here, double click on the zip file. You want to double click on the folder itself. And there's a difference because the zip file will have a little zipper, kind of help you. Okay. And so that is me opening up in VS Code. Now I do have to trust it. Okay. That folder in VS Code, and then I can start checking it out, right? And looking at the files. So the other thing about this site, and I could run live server here just to look at it, and let's just go ahead and do that, is that first I want to see, did everything render correctly, you know, just from downloading it, which it looks fine. So I'll end up, and I talk about this in the video, so I'm not going to, but one of the things I want to say here is that this is what we call a single page app. And what that means is as you click on the menu, notice, and this is important, that the URL doesn't change. Now the URL is local, so that doesn't matter. It's still a URL running on live server. But as you move to the different menu items, this is just in the same page. There's only one HTML document. So what I will do through the process of building my project zero is I will end up creating a page for each of these, because this landing page for the menu then would be the starting place for the other pages I have under this menu option. So I'm basically, and this is what you can understand, breaking the single, not breaking, changing, and another word for it is refactoring the single page site into a multiple page site. And you'll see me do this in the coming weeks. So don't worry if you don't totally get it here. I just want you to know kind of where we're heading. Okay. Okay. So I wanted to show you that. And since we're here, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I pull in now that I've done that, right? Because one of the things I realized when I was doing I don't know. I in some ways I almost wanted to re-record the couple of the videos, but I rewatched them and I thought, you know what? Sometimes it's okay to watch people mess up and fix it because that's what happens in our lives, but sometimes it's frustrating. So maybe that's part of what you could reply. Anyway, I might come up with something else. Okay. So I'm back in having the GitHub IO, which by the way, I could also just call this your pages site, but GitHub IO is when I say that, that means your, right? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do git pull. And what git pull is going to do is going to pull in all those changes that I did that you saw through the videos. And what was kind of funny was that I'd messed up a little bit and I created this backup, and I realized today is that I hadn't actually moved some of this correctly. So I got to fix some of that, which is okay because I had this, actually I could do it here. And this is one of the things is I could just move my image folder up into there, because the way I had it, it was going to break the backup. Now the backup ends up being whatever you had where we added CSS into your site. The one thing I don't have here that you will have is that week 5, right? So I could just create it here just to give you that idea, right? Week 5 HO, right? So when you ultimately through this week, so I'm just kind of showing you the end result of where you're going to be. This is where it's going to be, okay? Okay, I think that's hopefully helpful. We'll find out. So my suggestion, right, is watch me before attempting both the coding, both the code and the build. Oh, copying, actually, it should be copying and building your site from the template. Open, I already said this in VS Code. Templates, right? So my advice in choosing a template is think carefully. First, find ones that you like, then look at them, right? I show how to unzip on the Mac in the videos, but I just showed you how to do it on Windows. Single page, I already talked about this versus a multi-page site. We're building multi-page sites for Project Zero. Okay? All right, so questions for me would be a starting place for your reply, right? Or what was the other question? I just thought about it a minute ago. See, it's already gone. So I guess here's the reality for me, and it's okay. Stepping up to 2 new classes for me this semester. Oh, that's the other thing is for those of you that I did that sales pitch and you were trying to help me recruit students for 82 because of the changes in my schedule. 82 is going to be dropped out of the schedule for the back 9 of this semester, and 85 will be in its position. I'm considering how much change I'm going to do to 85. If you're looking at 85 and you have feedback for me, I'd love to hear that. I know Todd McLeod, who had taught that in the past, is much more lenient about due dates, and I know students like that. But here's what I would say to you, any of you, like the reason we give due dates, and I need them too, honestly, is to keep us focused because without some kind of like, I need to get it done, the tendency is to kind of, it's so easy to procrastinate. Maybe that's the question. Maybe that is the question. You can answer any of the ones I've talked about, but like, how much procrastination are you doing? I know last week it was all about focus, right? And I really like the post that I saw from last week. And so this week it's like procrastination because part of focus, part of the result of not having focus is having procrastination, in my opinion. And I do it too. I'm not immune to this. Trust me. I need deadlines. Now I have to set those deadlines myself. Okay. I have to say, like right now, I've got to record week 7 for the JavaScript class. I got to start working on my cybersecurity class for this week. It's the only one I need to do this week to get the content ready for next week. I got to look at 80, right? So I set these deadlines, and I'm not even talking to you about the stuff I have in my own personal life. Holy Mac. You probably don't want to hear that anyway. It always bugged me when instructors talked about their personal life, so I really try not to. But if there is ever any questions you have, I'd be happy to answer them. I'm totally into sustainability. It's part of my vision and my passion in life besides coding and teaching and all the stuff that I do. So anyway, you want to know about any of that, I'd be happy to chat about that. Also come to office hours, right? And Discord got some activity. Thank you very much. The more the better. It's not too late. All right. Enough from me. Week 6. Have a great time.